Hello everybody, welcome back, and today is a very special occasion because for the first time in literal years, I will be using the level editor in at least a somewhat serious way. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be remaking VSC, which is known as the hardest challenge that's ever been completed in this game. We're gonna make our own version of it. So for now, I'll just title it VSC Remake. This is gonna get changed later on, just a temporary title. And let's get started. Okay, so first things first, I want to choose a song for this level, and not just any song. Since the song for VSC is Waterflame Stalker, I'm thinking of using Waterflame Thumper for this one, because even though Thumper seems like happier sort of song, it's almost the same BPM as Stalker, which feels a lot slower, but I checked it, it's almost the same. Now, where do we start it off? Like, at 40 seconds maybe? Is this where the drop is? Okay, I think I got it. We're gonna do 183.7. 0.8. Okay, yeah, there we go. 183.8 is gonna be our offset, and let's begin building. Okay, right off the bat, the first thing we see when we enter VSC is a cube corridor, kind of like an introduction to the entrance of the level, and that's what I'm gonna build in my remake as well. And then right after it, this is where the wave should begin, right? Do we have the speed right? VSC is in 1 speed, so we're gonna make this in 1 speed as well. And obviously, to prevent dying, I should probably add a bunch of D blocks here, just so that the wave doesn't crash into the block as soon as you start the level. A satisfying result considering we've only been building this for a minute. Next, we're actually gonna start building proper obstacles. What I'm thinking for doing as the first click is literally copy pasting it from VSC. I know it kind of seems unoriginal to do that, but the song goes like badunk, and I think I need to do a click like this at the start. Like that, maybe align it with the song. The main thing about this level that I'm aiming for is sync. Because sync is what makes gameplay fun, and I'm aiming for a lot of fun with this level. So, okay, this is gonna be our first click. Okay, the next click, the next pattern that I'm gonna make is just a small itsy bitsy corridor with a bunch of saw blades inside of it. Because the song goes like bunk badunk, and I want to make the clicks go bunk badunk as well. So here it goes bunk, and here it goes badunk. You're gonna have to double click through this little gap here. So what I'm thinking of doing up here is I'm gonna place a spike again, and then I'm gonna add a proper structure. I'm gonna properly structure a structure. That makes a lot of sense. There we go, I hope I made some sense out of that nonsense. We're gonna snap a spike on top of it and move it closer to this, and then proceed to sync our level with the music. I'm gonna add another pair of clicks here, like so. So you have to release and then click again and then click again. So it goes like badunk badunk, just like the song. Next up, I have another vital property of VSC in mind. So you know how in VSC there's those spammy corridors all the time? I'm thinking of adding one myself right after these few clicks. So I'm gonna add a bunch of blocks and a bunch of spikes inside of them, because that's exactly where they belong. Okay, there we go. Now we have a spammy corridor, which I believe is an accurate representation of what VSC has to offer. I made it slightly more synced so it fits better with the level, and then we can move on to the next obstacle. Okay, yeah, there we have it. This is our abominational structure of destruction, and I don't feel any remorse whatsoever for anyone that attempts this level, because right now I'm gonna add a lot more structures next to it. So after you land in this wave, I'm gonna make the player do not 1 but 2 extra clicks. 1 as soon as he enters the portal, and 1 as soon as he's out. Okay, now it's finished, and we can move on to building the rest of the level. This edge looks like the place where another saw blade belongs, because what I'm thinking of doing right now is, so you know how the song is like divided into different quarters of it? It's a 4-type beat. Well, at the end of every beat, I'm gonna add a spam, like the spammy corridor that we see in VSC all the time. Except this time, instead of spikes, I'm gonna add saw blades. Just to spice things up, I'll add this extra saw blade that the player has to avoid, just casually sliding it here. No one's gonna notice this. This is looking very VSC-ish. Then once this spam is done, I feel like adding another spiky gap. So when the song goes like bup, the player's gonna have to click to fit between these 2 spikes. This is sort of starting to look like a proper VSC remake now. I'm gonna test it to see what it looks like so far. And And what comes next after this? Yeah, you might have guessed it. Since another quarter of the song ends here, I'm gonna add another one of these spams. This one's gonna be the longest out of all of them though. It's gonna be 5 blocks long and extremely relentless. So this is the hardest spam in the level so far, and I might actually make it a little bit tighter. And after this part, the song does a very weird pattern. It goes like... And I'm thinking, since I haven't used the mini wave yet at all, what if I add a mini section here that just goes like up and down repeatedly? Again, I'm gonna place some proper structures, because we like to keep standards here at Alias channel. Then for the first time ever, exclusively on Alias, we're gonna place spikes on the structure, and then we'll go back to our old ways of just straight up copy pasting these all over the place. Yeah, seems fitting. Okay, there we go, and then when the song goes like back, when there's like a little break in between the pattern, that's where I'm gonna do the same exact thing with my wave. I'm gonna make it big and upside down for just a slight second, a saw blade on top so that you have to do one precise holding click so you don't crash into the spikes. So, what are we gonna do next? I'm thinking of just repeating the exact same pattern, but with upside down wave. Yeah. I literally think we accomplished the job by literally copy-pasting the exact same pattern up here. Right, I'll add another structure at the end just to finish this part off. There, and this looks horrible. I'm gonna have to do a little twinkling around layers. There we go. A little bit better, not perfection, but eventually I'm gonna fix this. Okay, now I'm not gonna burden myself with that, and I'm gonna get to building the next obstacle. So now what I think of doing here is reverting the game back to its original game mode, which is big and normal gravity. I'm just gonna put these 2 portals in here and then call it a day. And next up, I want to try something new, something that's not quite VSC, but still a difficult wave level. So I'm gonna include one of those sonic wave patterns. Precisely, I'm thinking about the one at 72, where you basically have to do a small click to avoid 2 of the spikes that are clumped together in a small space. Right, so this is our sonic wave click. Just a little reference in the middle of a VSC themed level. Anyway, next, I haven't really added any proper saw blade navigation parts where you have to like parkour between the saw blades themselves. There's always been saw blades in combinations with spikes and platforms. I want to make a part where it's just saw blades. This is gonna be it. I think this click you're gonna have to go up between saw blades, and then this next click you're gonna go up between something else. I don't think this is survivable with the big wave. How about I make it mini for this one click? Yeah, I think this is gonna go well. Now we're gonna add another feature of VSC, which is, you know, those corridors made completely out of black spikes. I'm gonna add one of those. So this next part is gonna be entirely made of spiky blocks. Yeah. There we go. Okay, we got a nice little corridor, and we can move on to the next part. In VSC, there's a usage of teleportation portals that I don't quite understand, but it's still there. So naturally, I'm gonna have to put that in my own level as well. Then maybe another set of blocks, and then another set of spikes. Yeah, we're gonna combine everything in this part. Spiky blocks, the spikes, the blocks, the saw blades, it all comes together into one beautiful monstrosity. The song demands us to click here again, so I'm gonna make the player click once again through a spiky gap, just like that, adding the last little tweaks to it. There we have it, and then another one of these right after wouldn't hurt. So, since I added one teleportation portal that set us really low down to the bottom half of the wave, I think I'm gonna add another one to bring us back to the top. Just a slight elevation, not too hard, not too easy. And then here I'm thinking of adding another spam. One last spam, this is gonna be the final one. I don't really think it's necessary to put any more than, how many do I have? 4 in one level? It's still gonna be hard nonetheless, but I don't feel like we need any more. Okay, so what I'm thinking of doing is, for the last bit of the song, I'm planning to make pretty much the whole thing into a mini wave part, and the first thing that you do when you become a mini wave is fit through a tight space. Then I could add a gravity portal here and build another structure where you have to like time your clicks to the gravity changes. This thing that I've just made, this really doesn't look fitting for a mini wave anymore, so I'm gonna make the player go big again. There, and then I'm gonna add something that literally every Extreme Demon has, a gravity timing. Now you have to time it so that you immediately click as soon as you enter this portal, or else you die. Yeah, there we have it. I'm pretty satisfied with this. I hope it syncs though, because I haven't fully tested it yet. And now for this last part, I'm gonna add the last few spike towers at the end. The music goes buck, 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 so I'm hoping to add 3, but I might as well add 2 if there's no space. Okay, after a lot of trial and error, I finally managed to sync this last part to the music perfectly, so now when the music goes buck, 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 the wave also goes buck, buck, buck. And now for this last part, I've been planning this since I started building this level. For the last part, we're gonna add one last feature that VSC has, which is the upward spam. We're gonna add diagonal structure blocks like this, and then I think after that, we're gonna add another downward spam, and there would be no upward spam without spikes on the side, and that's the next thing I'm gonna add. And now one last thing to add is just the 4 clicks at the end of the song, at the end of the drop of the song, if that makes sense somehow. And this is what I call the jump of freedom. When you know you've passed the level, that it's over, you launch yourself right into the end of the level. And with this, I have concluded building my VSC remake. Gameplay wise, it's completely finished, but I think I should do a few things to optimize it, and then I'm gonna preview it to see what it looks like. And there it is, everybody, my VSC remake that I've built in around an hour or so. I think I know what I'm gonna title this, and don't be surprised, but it's the most random acronym that I just thought of 5 seconds ago. And it's gonna be... yeah. I just like the car, don't blame me. Anyway, if this video reaches 5,000 likes, this level will go public on the servers for all of you to try out. Plus, if you really want it, I'm gonna make another video on this showcasing the best players in the world playing this level. Thank you so much for watching, I'll see you in the next one, and peace out.